Welcome back, adventurers, to another episode of A Hero's Guide to Asgartha. I'm Nick,
And I'm Chili.
and today this is the last one, the last melon.
I know,
Chili,
right?
I don't know if you get that reference, but
No, I don't. But maybe you could tell me.
it's Ice Age,
Ah,
the movie Ice Age.
I haven't seen that in forever.
It is is it DreamWorks who made that movie? I don't remember. Hold on.
No.
Who made the movie Ice Age?
It wasn't DreamWorks.
It was, Blue Sky. And it was distributed by 20th Century.
20th Century Fox, now owned by
Good
Disney.
for them. Yay. All right. This is the last one. We're going to get right into it. We've got a lot to cover. Good old Moyo and Silk. Which apparently there's some really wild lore stuff happening with Moyo and Silk this set. So, yeah, it's kind of nuts. So, Moyo and Silk, the Yzmir hero for this set. Whenever you play a spell with a base cost 4 or more, you may exhaust me to create a mana moth. If the cost was 7 or more, also draw a card. And these are base costs, by the way. That does matter in this set.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah, so completely new, I guess, keyword. And base cost is whatever.
Yep.
Basically, if you play it from hand, then it's your hand cost. If you play it from reserve, it's a reserve cost.
yes, correct. So, moving right along, Abandoned Depot, add a faction from Axiom, 2 from hand, 2 from reserve, on play from anywhere, draw a card, and when I am sacrificed, resupply, and you can sack it for 1.
Yeah,
Cool.
not a bad card. I think this is really good for an after-use style mechanic. Anything that requires a card to be in your landmark zone, it's good. Drawing a card for 2, slightly more expensive than if you were to use magical training. But at the same is it magical training that gives you the draw?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you can have this there limitless times if you have anything that activates arrow ability.
Right, and I think the point is that, like, you know, it's really funny because when you look at Parliament is just an objectively better card for card draw because you get card draw and you get tough. So that's why I'm like, this card is fine, and the fact that you have to sack it to resupply is not great for Axiom. It's great for Axiom, it's not great for Yzmir. So, yeah, I don't know. You've got a lot more draw mechanics in Yzmir than any other faction, I think. That and Lyra.
That's correct. So for 2, you're the question with Yzmir is, do you have enough landmarks you want to play? Right. This is great if you ever get to sacrifice it to resupply, or at the end of day if you've got more than 2. You have the ability of doing that, but there's really no hero that worries too much about having things in your landmark zone. So maybe in the future there's going to be something, but it's useful for what it can do.
Yeah.
It's a rare slot though.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think, like, again, Parliament of Ashes has actually good utility. So I don't think anybody's going to be playing this, really. Unless they really care about resupply and giving everything that gives resupply. So that's just me. But moving on to Aerolith Quarry. 2 from hand, 2 from reserve again. At noon, if your opponent is first player, create an Aerolith token in your landmarks. I could see you comboing this with Abandoned Depot. Right? Abandoned Depot. The problem is I don't think anybody cares about that. I don't think anybody cares enough about Aeroliths in Yzmir, at least.
So the only one that may be something fun to play with is if you're in Lindaway, where when you're first player, you get you get the ability of creating a more. Now, this says when you're not first player, you can still gain something. But the other thing is, because Axiom is so prevalent, both this and Abandoned Depot are so easy to remove. So there's that question of what do you want to do in that case, because the Grems has become basically a staple in every one of the Axiom heroes.
That's true.
So it's easy to target, but you never know. Like, it could be
actually,
if that is your build, but nothing really builds that way.
Well, yeah, that's the problem, though, is that Grems isn't in Yzmir. So it's Bravos and Axiom. So, like, that'd be funny if you could play Grems with this.
Yes,
which is why it's good for Axiom.
But Bravos and Axiom basically make up, I would say, more than a third of the decks you'll play.
True.
No, so the only thing, Axiom uses it all the time. Bravos seldom uses it. But there's a few other cards now. I actually think there's a lot more remover with variances, and we're going to go through a few of them
Yeah.
today.
So this card is great. This card is fantastic.
And
I actually really like this card for Moyo. Okay,
So
if we're talking specifically
just
in
one
the
thing,
context of Moyo.
given we're also going to be putting this in audio, one of the asks that have come is when we reference a card, if we can say the title before that, so that way they know that'd be great. I know I'm really poor at doing that.
I try and do it just in case we do. But this is a Lalo, Eerie Leviathan. 5 from hand, 5 from reserve in the common, 2 all in the stats. It is gigantic, and I am also considered a spell, even when not in play. And in the rare, it is 4 from hand, 4 from reserve. 1 all in the stats, and the exact same text. Now, this matters, because what is Moyo's? Moyo is 5 or more.
Yep.
And then 7 or more. So the common specifically,
it's 4 or more. 4 or more, right?
So is it 4 or more?
Yeah, it's 4 or more. So the common
then
and the rare both trigger.
There you go. So that's why this matters, because if you combo this correctly with Moyo's ability, you're having 2 on each side, and then plus. So basically, depending on how you play this, right, you're either getting 2 stats total, or 4 stats total, or you're getting 6 stats total.
It also works the same way for if you're using a Farnus, because it's a spell. It gets a +1 boost as well. So it'll be either a 3/3/3 gigantic for the common, or a 2/2/2 gigantic for the rare.
Yeah. So honestly, this card genuinely I think should be played in a Faunus and in Moyo.
Yeah, and you know what? I think it has a lot of value. I haven't seen it be played, but I'll also caveat that with, in the majority of the tournaments, you're not seeing much Yzmir.
Yeah.
Either. So there's that element of it. But if people are playing Moyo, and I've got a Moyo deck that I'm currently playing with. I don't have a Lilo in it, but I can see where it can add value.
Yeah, I really like this card because the fact that it creates the dynamic of spell and character, and both Moyo and Afanis care about spells. This is huge. And this is so far the only faction that has said, this is a dual type card, basically, where it's a character and a spell.
That's right.
So
pretty cool.
And the other funny part about this is that because it's a spell, it also can trigger stuff like, maybe something where it's like return targets or like trade target spell from your hand for target spell in your reserve. Right? That's why it also matters for that too, because then you can put this in reserve, and then I don't know why you would want to, but it's a possibility.
Yeah, there's lots of options to play with this.
Yeah,
and the fact if you get that boost, it's actually above curve. Normally with gigantics, though, my preference is that they have to be a little bit more than above curve, because then they can always just trade with you 1-for-1.
Yeah. So I like this card. I kind of want to put it to use, specifically in like the out of faction is fine too in Axiom, but I really like how it sits in Yzmir. So
Nice.
I might give it a try. Whoa, hey buddy, you good there?
Yeah, I just had to. So I'm moving.
You're moving this.
so we could actually read the text. Yeah. So
I thought it was moving on its own.
No, I'm moving it just because it covered the text. So I quickly went and moved it.
That's so funny. I genuinely thought it was moving by itself.
It's magic. It really is. So then, while Nick is getting over his laughing fit, so Axiom Puppeteer 3/2 for 3/3/0 in Yzmir. It is only in the outer faction. It's a character, engineer, and robot. So in this case, when played from hand, you may sacrifice a character or permanent to sabotage. So pretty useful to be able to be done. It is slightly understated, but the fact that if you are in forest or you are in mountain, you're more than likely going to win that side, and you also get to sabotage. Of course, you've got to be mindful of going up in putting this in any of the areas that has water, because you get nothing.
Yeah, I think here's the thing. This is great for Lindaway. This is phenomenal for Lindaway. The other thing too is that, again, I don't know why you would want to, but you could use this if you wanted to build an Yzmir Aerolith or Yzmir Landmark deck.
Yeah.
Because I know that there are plenty of uniques that care about landmarks. So,
and this is the thing. Normally, you do not like if you're playing a Farnus, you never want to sacrifice a character. You don't. All your characters are so cheap.
Yeah.
You don't have many of them, to be honest. If when you're playing Lindaway, it makes sense. If you can sacrifice something that then you give to them all. Your jellyfish would probably be the one that you want to do. I don't. The other deck that may use this a little bit is if you're trying to play the control, very very deep control within Akesha. Because your goal in that deep control Akesha build is basically suffocate your opponent where they lose cards from hand, they lose cards from reserve. And then you're just trying to go 1 for 1 until you're able to basically have more cards in hand and they've got nothing to play with.
Yeah.
But I don't... It has value, but I don't see it in Moyo, though. It might be useful.
Yeah.
I just don't use it.
Yeah, I don't. I think genuinely the real hero for this is Lindaway.
Yeah.
You can play it for other stuff if you're caring about landmarks and creating that for other decks. I don't know. I don't know why you would want to, but it's possible. So I like it. I like the card a lot. I think there's a lot of potential for Lindaway, which has been lacking support, I think.
Agree.
So, but I think this card is just great all around.
Okay, so that takes us to the next card, which is Bait. In common, it's a 2/2 spell maneuver. In rare, it's a 3/3 spell maneuver. Both of them have fleeting. The first 2/2 is target token character defects. So you can. This is really great against Sigismar and against Kojo. Sorry, not Kojo. Yeah, Kojo and Buddha, because you can actually defect.
I mean, it's good against Gullring. It's good against Sigismar. It's good against now Muna. With Kauri.
Yes, but the Kauri usually... Yeah, I guess it could, but Kauri usually gives the tokens to you, although it does have some for themselves. So there is... But Bait in the rare, if your meta has a lot of token generation, it is fantastic. 3/3 to up to 3 target token characters defect. And the beauty of that, and I'll say the beauty of this, playing either of these against Sigismar, is a lot of Sigismar's uniques require a token to trigger.
Yeah.
So if you play this and you can stop those uniques from actually giving you those benefits, although the other half is draw, you can't really do too much against the draw, but maybe you can because it requires 2 or 3 characters and you're taking some out. But Bait rare, if you're really going for that control and your meta is quite token dependent, it is absolutely fascinating, especially if it's Ghoulrang. Now, I don't see Ghoulrang being top of the curve right now, but if you are playing a Ghoulrang, this card is going to give you 6/6/6 worth of value for doing nothing.
Yeah, and this out of faction is in Muna, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so that makes it even funnier. So I feel like Muna and Yzmir are really, really going to be like the real Sigismar hate decks now.
Which I think is needed. Like anything.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It's really good.
Like, I mean, honestly, I was surprised when your Sigismar deck got beat out by a Muna, like by a Kauri deck.
No, Kauri destroys Sigismar.
Yeah, so
especially a Kauri build that is very much Persephone. Not Persephone. Sorry. What's the 2/2 for 0/0/0? But you get 1 boost for every card your opponent controls. Every character.
Oh, Pasiphae.
Thank you, Pasiphae. And also all the anchoring that then gives you additional defect. There's a whole bunch of stuff that
defect, bait. There's so much good stuff for good
like,
token hate.
I was happy to have lost that one.
Yeah. Again, Bessie Coleman. More stuff for Lindaway. So Bessie Coleman, 2/2 character adventurer, which adventurer matters for this set. 2 all in the stats. When you sacrifice a character or permanent, if I have no boosts, I gain a boost. Stupid. Stupid funny.
So in the end, it's going to be 2/2 for 3/3/3. If you're able to sacrifice something, you can get.
Plus, you're giving something to Maw.
Yeah, exactly. So you can get this. You get the more things you have out that can benefit from the sacrifice, the better, because you just sacrifice once and everything gets the gain. I'm still not seeing much Lindaway be played though. I think there's a lot more tools for them, but there are also a lot of hate against it because of the token generation. Again, you can build it up and you can lose it straight away.
Yeah. I think this is, again, I like the fact that Lindaway is getting a lot more support. So it makes me feel good about myself. Mm-hmm. So, Brainwash, which, a horrifying card. This is straight horror. And I don't know if you've looked at the card lore for this. This card is freaky in the lore.
Yeah, it's
dark.
Basically, more that is in not more. Sorry, it's the
Silk?
It's the moth. Yes,
Yeah.
Silk. Sorry, Silk basically attaching himself to something, and basically converting it over to whatever it is. I haven't read that part of the story in terms of what it means.
It's weird.
But I've seen Brainwash be used a fair bit, and where I really see it. So it's 4/4 a spell disruption, fleeting. The common is target a character in any reserve with reserve cost 2 or less, and you can play it for free. So more than likely, you're going to take something from your opponent. You can play that for free and get all the benefits that come from it, right? As it's played. The rare is 3/3 for exactly the same benefit. If you're playing, if you are playing Moyo, you have to play Brainwash at the 4/4 rare common. Sorry, and the reason why is because it's a spell. Then you also get to create a 2/2 mana moth in your hero expedition. So all the mana moths you create from the hero ability go into your hero zone.
Yep.
So I think it's really. I've had this card played against me multiple times.
Yeah, but I mean, either way, it's good in any deck. Like, if you're playing it in Moyo specifically, you want to play it in the common. But this is good in any Yzmir deck, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Especially, you just really can affect their game style.
Yeah, so I really like this card a lot. And that brings us to Bravo Signet, the out of faction from, I don't know, what do you know what faction, Chili? What is out of faction from?
I think
Weird.
It's from who'd have
Yeah,
thought
yeah. It's Ordis, right?
Now, the cool thing with this, I believe, is Soul.
Yes. Yeah, you can tell from the braids.
Yeah.
I love this artwork so much. So this is Bravo Signet, 5 hand, 5 reserve, spell conjuration, fleeting. Choose 2. Target character gains 3 boosts. Return target character with hand cost 3 or less to its owner's hand, and put the top card of your deck in your mana zone. First off, Yzmir ramp, funny as heck. I think that's wildly hilarious. The problem that we're running into here is it's 5 cost, which is wildly more expensive than any other Signet.
Yeah, the only one this would be useful for, and I think may get play, is if you're playing Moyo.
Yeah.
None of the other heroes have any level of synergy with this, though. Like the benefit maybe is, hey, if you can ramp any deck, this would be great.
Yeah.
Right. And the only reason I say Moyo is because you can create the 2/2 mana moth.
Yeah. So potentially, and here's where it gets really interesting, right? Potentially, what you can do is you can have Moyo's ability resolve first, create the mana moth, give it 3 boosts, and then ramp or return.
Correct. So that's
right.
why I think that's the only one that has any benefit whatsoever. At least then it's on par if you use that.
Well, plus you're ramping, which is at least 2.
Absolutely. So that's the one that I'd look at. If you're going for that style of deck, there's another card later on we're going to talk about that you want to have that reduces the cost of anything that's 7 or more, any spell 7 or more by 1. Would be another thing you'd look to do in this case.
Yeah. So, okay, Caladrius. We've talked about this in Ordis.
Yeah, good pick here. Good pick for you to have.
Love this card.
I underestimated how valuable this can be, especially at the common.
Yeah, I love this card. From reserve, this is just a good card, right? For getting 1/1/2, I love that. From 3 from hand. So, okay, let's start over. Caladrius is 3 from hand, 1 from reserve. It's a character animal. It is 2 from hand, 1 from reserve in the rare. Stats are same, 1/1/2 across the board. And the play from hand effect is you may send to reserve target character with hand cost 2 or less, which is the common version, or you may send a reserve target character with hand cost 1 or less. I think this is great.
Yeah,
I love this card.
Common is good enough. I think even if you're reducing your cost by 1 by playing the rare, the fact that the removal is also reduced to 1, I'd prefer going for the rare and having that option of 2, because you can hit so much more.
Yeah, I agree. And I just love this artwork. This artwork is so good. So props for a card when it's good as a playable card and also looks great too.
Yeah, well done.
So we love that. Good job, Fahmy Fauzi. Good job.
There you go. All right, that takes us to the next card, which is a spell, a defect, which is also a keyword in the set. 7/7 for the common, 6/6 for the rare. The common does say fleeting, as does the rare, and the common also says target character defects. So it joins the expedition facing it, changing controllers. So if it's in the hero side, it goes to the hero side of yours. It is 7. There is at the common no limit to what your defecting is. Okay. The rare, though, because it's a reduction of 1, does have a limiting factor. It says target character with hand cost 4 or less to defect. So he has to be 4 or less. And in most cases, that's basically all the decks. There's very few decks that have more than that, unless you're playing the Hunger. And I think this will be great against the Hunger, though most people will wait to play the Hunger before they do this. It's also going to be great against... it may also be difficult against the Charty builds. They're really it. I don't see many Muna decks. Oh, actually, Muna may also have a few that they play.
Hydrocina, Lernaean Hydra. No, Lernaean Hydra's in...
Hydra
no, but that's Bravos and Yzmir. Or Bravos and Lyra.
Yeah, so that's 5. But the regular Hydra, like, if you can get some gigantic cards and get them across, it'd be brilliant to do.
Yeah.
Though you are spending a slot that is very much luck of the chance. Because you're spending 7. Like, if you're playing Moyo... Then you do need to get something across that's 5 or more.
I mean, but look at the bright side too, though. You are getting a Mana Moth, and you are drawing off of it.
Correct. You are getting that benefit. But I'd also look at it from a perspective of, if you're not getting 5 cards worth of value, and maybe a card is worth 1, if you're not getting 4 stats worth of value, then it's very difficult to actually feel like you're getting the return on investment.
Yeah, that's fair.
But, cool.
But I love this card. I think this card could be really funny. Also, just Moyo in the background is kind of spooky. So I will say that.
The storyline with what he could potentially do with Silk.
Yeah, it's wild.
Just like the mind alterations is pretty awesome.
Ugh. It gives me the willies. All right, cool. Demolition Expert. Again, they're kind of telling you that you can build Airless in Yzmir. I don't know who would, but you can.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but someone might.
Yeah. So, Demolition Expert, 2 from hand, 2 from reserve, character engineer, 2/2/1 in the stats. On play from hand, create an airlift in target player's landmarks, and on play from reserve, you may sacrifice a permanent to give 1 boost to target character. Cool.
Nice. I think this is actually much better than most people think. I don't see much in Yzmir that I've seen, but doesn't mean it's not getting played, because I do think it's a valuable card. So it's just slightly understated when you just consider the cost for the return, 2/2 for 2/2/1. But creating an Aerolith token that then can be sacrificed when you play it from reserve to give something an additional 1 boost is actually a really fun thing you can do. And you don't have to actually sacrifice the Aerolith if you don't want to. You can do a whole bunch of other stuff.
That's true. Like, you could do the depot, you know. There's other stuff. Yeah, I will agree with that. So, dang, man. See, it's that thing that's just like, they give me a thing that's like, you probably won't do this. And I'm like, but I kind of want to try it now. Yeah. I want to try it.
The best part with the art is you can see that he's lost his arm because he probably blew it up, which I think is hilariously awesome.
Yeah. All right, now we're going into Farfetch 2.0.
It's not to be confused with Pokemon Farfetch, of course.
No, that's Farfetch, with the D. It's got the apostrophe D.
Yeah, apostrophe D. See, there you go. The duck looking
thing. Yeah, I gotcha. Dude, I'm going to start calling this the duck. So, this is Farfetch 2.0, 3 from hand, 3 from reserve, robot. It is a character robot. 3 all in the stats. This is the out of faction from Axiom. And on play from anywhere, you may sacrifice a character or permanent. If you do, target character switches expeditions. Now, this would be really funny as a last-minute play to boost Maw and then have it switch expeditions.
Yeah, this is actually, and the cool thing is, it doesn't have to be your character; it can be your opponent. Very, very useful in late game when you're trying to just match the stats to allow you to win. If you're already ahead and they're blocking both sides, not only can you sacrifice the ones that you don't care about, but you can switch over whatever your highest stat is to the area that can win.
Yeah,
pretty useful. Not once again, I have not seen this much, but I do find that this has huge utility.
yeah. Again, dang, but this is where it sucks, is that a lot of the good utility ones are in the rare. They're in the rare and then the out-of-factions. So, if you are going to be playing something like this with Lindaway, you're kind of... It's really interesting how rare-hungry Lindaway is,
Yeah,
compared to the rest of Yzmir.
Now, just one other thing is, I do believe this is Farfetch 2.0 is the vehicle in which Pardew is actually in. I think Pardew is inside of here because when we go to Pardew later on, it's exactly the same vehicle.
Just with the lid open.
Yes.
So, all right, that moves us over to Kali.
I like this card.
Another Hindi card.
Yeah.
2 from hand, 2 from reserve. Character deity. 3 from hand. 3/2/2 in the stats. On play from hand, you may put a spell from your hand in reserve. If you don't, sacrifice me.
Yeah. Just before we do that, I'm not sure if we said what Farfetch was. It is 3/3 for 3/3/3. Character robot.
Yeah. I went through the whole thing.
Okay. Sorry.
No, you're good. So this is where Alelo gets really funny. The rare for Kali is 2 from hand, 2 from reserve, 3/3/2 in the stats, so going up in 1 in mountain. And on play from hand, you may put a spell from your hand into reserve. If you don't, sacrifice a character. So the rare is technically a little better because you don't have to worry about possibly sacrificing Kali. But this is where Alelo could come in handy. If this is what you have, and you just don't have any spell cards, this is where Alelo could help.
Yeah, and there's also a number of spells that actually have a lower cost in reserve, so you're okay with bringing those into reserve. So I think it has a lot of value. And the other thing is, if you just want to play it out to sacrifice it for the sake of sacrificing something for more, sure.
Yeah,
it gives you less value than more. I do like the idea of the rare though, because if you can sacrifice another character, you don't have to sacrifice Kali.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like this card. But again, it's the whole thing of like, okay, where do I play this in Lindaway? Right? Do I play it in Lindaway for the sacrificing the character, or do I play it in Afanis, Moyo, just to be able to do spell recursion? Or like throwing spells down maybe for like a free action. So, I don't know. It's interesting. All right. Chili with his second.
Yeah, Leviathan Spotter. It's a character messenger, 2/2 for 3/02, so it does have a 0, which isn't usually the best for Yzmir. But when played from reserve, you may reveal a spell with hand cost 4 or more from your hand if you do draw a card. More than likely, the majority of characters nowadays will have a spell that's 4 or more, and it gives you card draw. Now, you do have to play it from reserve, and you do have to show someone a little bit of your hand, but I think it's really useful, even if it is as an intimidation tactic, that you can get a card draw from this. Spotter's fantastic. It's used tremendously in Kojo and also potentially Vasira builds in Bravos, and I think it should also become a staple in Yzmir purely for the card draw.
Yeah, I really like this card a lot. I think this card has the potential to be huge in Moyo. Mm-hmm. So, and it's just cheap. It's just good cheap. Yeah. So, I don't see why anybody shouldn't be playing this. So, okay, moving right along to Lost in the Riptide. Poor dude. These 3 little pigs, man, cannot catch a break.
They definitely cannot.
So, Lost in the Riptide, 4 hand, 4 reserve, spell Disruption. Fleeting, you may play me for 1 less. If you do, I can only target a character in water, which, not awful. Not bad at all. Now, I think we're going to... Hold on. We'll talk about this. And then return target character to the top of its owner's deck, which is interesting. Here's where it gets real interesting. Is if... So even if the stat is 0 on water, as long as that expedition is in water, is that what matters?
Yeah. Yes.
So that's where this gets...
It just has to be in an expedition that is 0. Now,
there you go.
The crazy part is, yes, so that way you're playing it for 3, which is great. It does go to their owner's deck so they can replay it the next day. But at the same time, you're delaying something. They're going to draw something anyway. They're just replacing what they're drawing with this. I actually really like this card if you're playing a build that has a rare Studious Acolyte, because you can play spells... common Studious Acolyte, because you can play a spell for 1 less if it's 4 or more. So that way you may only need to play this for 2. So there is some synergies there within just Moyo, though.
Yeah, but this is... I don't know. This is a great card, I think. So...
It's
because...
removal for 3.
Yeah. Because... Remind me if... It doesn't matter what you pay for it. It's the written cost that matters for, like, Moyo and Achadi and stuff like that, right?
Yes,
so, like...
the written cost, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Then, yeah. So this would be really funny. This could get really good. So, I want to try it. I want to see what happens. Ooh, Marie Curie, my girl, nuclear power. What was it? Uranium? I think it was uranium.
Yes, I'm actually not sure. I knew she was a scientist, but I'm trying to think what she. I thought she did radiation. It's radiation. It's the X-rays.
Yeah.
She did X-rays.
Hold on. Anyway, you start doing.
Yeah, no problem. Marie Curie, 2/2, for 3/3/2. When played from hand, you may sacrifice a character or a permanent. If you don't, I gain fleeting. So, once again, another sacrifice element there for Lindaway. I see that being the greatest synergy. I don't think anyone else would really be wanting to use this because you want every card to have the double benefit. But end of game, if you want to play this, but it is a rare. I just don't see it getting as much value. I think the card in and of itself, though, is overstated. So that is where you are getting a little bit more from the bang for your buck. But you have to have a permanent that you're comfortable sacrificing, because in many cases you don't want to sacrifice a character unless you've got more out.
Yeah. So I figured out it was radium and polonium.
Yeah, radium. So basically X-rays.
Yeah. So discovered the theory of radioactivity, a term that she coined. Founded the Curie Institute in Paris. Really, really interesting stuff. So, dang, man.
Yeah. Moth Collision would be the next one that we're looking at, which I think is really cool.
Yeah. Also, fun fact about Marie Curie, she was the first person to win a Nobel Prize twice, and the only person to win a Nobel Prize in 2 different scientific fields.
Oh.
So,
there you go.
Moth Collision. Good card, man. This is such a funny card. So, we'll talk about this, why I think this is a funny card. So, Moth Collision is a spell disruption, 4 from hand, 4 from reserve, both in the common and in the rare. Both are fleeting, and the common says, if you control an illusion, I cost 1 less, discard target character. If you control an illusion in the rare, I cost 2 less, discard target character with hand cost 3 or less. Here's the thing. You're going to be playing both of these, right? No matter what. The fun part is that this card basically creates the illusion that you need.
Only if you're playing Moyo.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So, like, well, you could also play it for the Nylum.
Yeah, so if you've got a Nylum build, that's the other benefit of this. So yes, but Nylum builds have started to come down since really no one's really playing Afanis at the moment. But Nylum builds would really work in here. The only thing is you must have played something beforehand to trigger this.
Yeah,
to trigger something in reserve that has been.
Well, yeah, you do.
You need to get something as a Mana Moth first.
Well, that's what. So you do Rime Frost.
Yep.
and then
Okay.
you hit Nylum, so you get to exhaust something, which in reserve, great, and then you use this, and then you're discarding target character. Here's the real question though: which one are you playing, common or rare?
I would play the common. I'm sorry. Look, to be honest, if you're playing Moyo, play the rare
Yeah,
because you can basically discard anything for 2, and it's discarded, so it's not even going to reserve. It's getting rid of it.
yeah,
In this case, and most people are only going to be playing 3 or less anyway. So that's the huge upside to here. Once again, it's a rare. If you're happy to just have a disruption for 3, so let's use Moyo for example. Just the common is still valuable. You're paying 3 resources, okay? But you'll create a 2/2/2, and you get rid of a character that has no limit. But I think the 4/4/4 just allows you to play something else when you're playing it, so you get more benefit. That's just my mind, but once again, rare slot, hard to argue with using it.
I think that's why, just for me, I would pick the common.
Yeah, it's
because
great. Both of them are
it
great.
frees up a rare slot. You're only doing it for 3 and discarding for 3 any target character. So that hits your big stuff. So, granted, it's going to be harder in Muna, Lyra, and Bravos because that has a lot of tough stuff. Tough stuff. But I think it's worth it. So, but yeah, I agree. Like, you could play either one of these and be happy with both.
All right, that then takes us to the next card, which is Moth.
My gosh.
At the common, it's 4/5, and it creates a mana moth 2/2 illusion token in target expedition. So it is a spell, a conjuration, or a maneuver, and you get to draw a card. In Moyo, you basically get to create 2 mana moths. You get to choose where one goes, the other one does go into your hero side, and you get to draw a card. The rare, though, is 5/5, but it allows you to create 2 mana moth illusion tokens, and you get to choose where you want it. I initially picked the rare, but the more I've started to play with Moyo, I'm finding the common is good enough.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, just from of course the rare is better, but given you have to balance out your rares, I found that the common gives me enough value that it's useful.
So you think that? Well, I mean, technically, and it is on curve. So 4, 4/4/4 in stats and drawing.
And a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
So that's the only reason. I think the rare is amazing, but given you have so few rare slots, that I felt that the common was good enough, but it's still an inclusion, an absolute inclusion in Moyo.
Yeah, it has to be.
I think this is also an inclusion in. Well, actually, to be honest, you could. I would say Akesha would use this because she can play it after you and then choose to where she plays it afterwards and get 4/4 stats somewhere.
Yeah.
And get the card draw. And Akesha is looking for that card draw more so that they can do the late game slowdown. Same as Moyo if you're looking at some people are playing that style of hostage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, that's just me from playing. I felt that the common was good enough.
Hold on, let me find something real quick, because here's the interesting thing about this card too, is that this is a direct. This is basically showing you one of the forms of Yzmir alteration. It's Gephiromancy. So because it's using sigils, this is Gephiromancy.
That's cool. Okay, I can see the sigils in the rare.
Yeah, so if you look at the rare, this is a direct representation of what Gephiromancy looks like.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty freaking sick.
It is.
So, anyway, moving on. Feet! We got the feet.
We do have feet.
So, this is everybody's probably least favorite card in the set. Art-wise.
Okay, but not just art-wise. I felt that this was awful when I first read it. But I've seen some crazy stuff being used with it.
So, as everybody knows, we were talking about Ortis Warden. 2 from hand, 2 from reserve, bureaucrat character. 2 all in the stats. On play from hand, you may have me gain a sleep. At noon, target character puts a card from their hand in reserve. Tell me what nutty stuff you've been seeing, because I'm inclined to agree with you. This card kind of sucks.
Yeah, it doesn't look too good because it's delaying a game. You don't normally want to take multiple days off. But what it is if a lot of people, so many people play with basically 1 to 2 cards in hand, by forcing someone to put something into their reserve at the start of their day, you lose the benefit. Say, for example, all they have is a hunger. They put it in reserve. They cannot do what they wanted to do. So you're really reducing their hand size by playing that in many cases. You also have the ability of putting something into their reserve and then playing the Nihilum or playing things that actually exhaust cards in reserve. The way that I would probably do this is I'd put this with Karaokami, right? You play this first, they put a card in their reserve, then you haven't played anything. You play Karaokami the next day, and now they've got 4 cards in reserve. Right? So, and then if they want to play anything, even if they don't play anything, they lose 2 cards, and you progress on one side. Anyway, those are the things that I'm seeing, and that's actually the deck that I've built.
That's a good point.
Right now is I put this alongside Karaokami to basically know that I'm going to exhaust. No, that's the wrong word. I'm going to make sure that their hand size is diminished quite substantially.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the way that I've seen it, and that's the way I've played it, thanks to some thinking with Runefolk.
Yeah, that's it. And now that I think about it, I think I might bring my Aphanis deck back, because now that I'm truly thinking about it, I can have most of my characters be my low cost, and all of my spells be the high cost stupid stuff.
Yeah, there's and people aren't expecting it, so it's actually quite fun to play. You get people frustrated though. Indy was frustrated with the way I was playing.
Good. Paju in his Farfetch. So, Paju, Axiom Pilot. This is the Eidolon of Paju.
That's right.
So, everybody knows Paju's dead. He's not coming back. The only way he's coming back is as an Eidolon, which is sad. But, Trace, sorry, buddy. Homie's dead.
But he's in the tumult trying to see if there's a way he can resurrect.
Exactly. Yeah.
Make him a living being.
I'm a real boy. I've got a body.
It looks a little bit like it. Or a monkey. So, I look at that. I'm like, I thought it was a monkey the first time I saw it.
He's Goku. He's Sun Wukong.
Oh, there you go.
He's the son of Sun Wukong. So, yeah, Paju, Axiom Pilot, 2 from hand, 2 from reserve, character adventurer, 2/2/0 in the stats. When a robot or token joins my expeditions, if I have no boost, I gain a boost, then create an aerolith in your landmarks. And as a free ability, you can create an aerolith token in target player's landmarks. If you're building the Axiom stuff in Yzmir, you have to be playing this card. This card is really funny.
Yeah, I think it has a lot of value, but you cannot play it without playing something else after.
Yeah.
So you have to play a robot or a token joins its expedition. So it's not joining any expedition you control.
Yeah, join my expedition. Yeah.
So you're not able to split up your wins. You have to put it into the same side. And that makes it a little bit harder.
Yeah.
In terms of its value. I love basically, if it's in your reserve, you can just get an aerolith out of it without paying it if you choose to. So there's that benefit, though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's definitely true. So, I don't know. I'd like to see somebody build an aerolith deck for Axiom and win with it, too.
They're basically telling us to do so by the amount of cards that are there.
Who knows? Maybe that might be a bounty board thing. Mm-hmm. So, we'll have to see. Oh, dang son. So, oh, man, dude. Okay. Rage. Which, as we all know, really funny card. 1 from hand, 2 from reserve. Target non-fleeting character gains 2 boosts and fleeting.
Yep.
I think this is funny.
I think it's great. It's fantastic after you, especially when played from hand. It cannot. The one thing to note, if you are playing it in your Farnus build, it gains fleeting. You don't get it played the second time because it's a 1-cost spell. But it's great in Moyo. It's also really, really useful in your Lindaway builds.
And it's also really really good for hunger.
Absolutely great for hunger.
Like, you have this in hand, you just isn't the discount card for hunger in this deck anyway?
No, it's not. It's
not. Dang,
No.
because that would have been real funny.
Yeah.
Like you discount and then play this. Ugh.
It is not. I believe it's in Lira. I could be wrong, but I know it's not in. Otherwise, I'd have it in my deck.
Yeah, that'd be really stupid. Like you basically eat everything with hunger and then give it fleeting.
And P.S. I don't have this in my deck, and I should.
You should have this in
Yeah.
your deck. Are you
Yeah.
kidding me?
Yeah.
Oh, because that's just. Here's the thing. That combo is really good.
Man, I've been
Like playing hunger with this.
Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine the look on people's faces?
Oh, I can absolutely.
Oh, oh man, I want this combo so bad. All right, we're talking about my boy. This, I'm not gonna lie.
Okay.
This
so we're
card
talking about
right here.
Sagitta.
Hold on, wait a dang. Way to ruin I was building it
Oh.
up. And you just cut me off at the knees. Never mind. Forget
Sorry.
this. It's Sagitta. I love Sagitta. This
Okay, I want to hear why.
not even well. Okay, first off, this card is hands down, not even kidding, my favorite artwork in this entire set. I want like a print of this with like I'm not kidding. Like I want like a 4-foot print of this with like Sagitta like flying over, and you can like see like all the dude. This is like if I were like an exalt, this would be I would try everything in my power to get Sagitta to be my partner in the Musubi. This is what I want. Even if I have to take a baby one, I'll take a baby one knowing that it grows up into this, dude. I love this character so much. The artwork is phenomenal. It's a big bird. It's very Phoenix-esque, but it's not. And blue is my favorite color. So, like, the way that, like, the orange tones mix with, like, the blue tones, and, like, you can see the manjets in the background and all the dude. I genuinely... Ba makes some of the best art on this planet.
Yeah, I think it's fantastic.
So, dude, I cannot tell you. I'm not joking. I might commission him a like personal piece of this. So anyway, so this is Sagitta, Soaring Leviathan. 6 from hand, 6 from reserve. Character Leviathan. 3 from 3/2/3 in the stats, and I cost 2 less if there is a spell with reserve costs 4 or more in your reserve. So, first off, the fact that Yzmir or the fact that Equinox and Altered is saying, hey, you need to be playing stuff with a higher cost. First off, really funny. The fun part is that if you play this right and you play this with a Lalo, dude, you're gonna make some people cry.
Yeah,
Like hardcore.
See, for me, I think the card that really you should be playing with this is, of course, you have to play it in Moyo because you've got so many more spells that are greater than 4, right? Or Off You Go. Play Off You Go from hand, then it's in your reserve, it costs 4, right?
Yeah.
Now, what I like using it...
Oh, and it's gigantic, everybody.
And it's
by
gigantic.
The way, sorry.
But there's other cards that will reduce a character by 1 more. So there's that element as well, is which cards do you have that can reduce the count by 1? And then if you're only paying 3, so basically 3 cost for 3/2/3, gigantic,
and it's
fantastic.
gigantic.
Is fantastic. Yeah. So that's where, like, I think I've heard people talk about building this, but I've never seen it. And I think in the background you have Manjet, right?
Yeah, you've got several manjets. There's 2 of them up there.
Oh, there's only one Manjet. The other one must be Mesektet then, because there's only one of each.
I don't know, man. Those look like double manjets, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
No, I think that's the Ordis troop. The one from the first set, the Ordis carrier.
Mesektet?
Yeah, if Mesektet and Manjet are the only 2 big ships, but it might be an Ordis carrier.
No, that's an Ordis carrier. That's the other one. That's the other
maybe
one.
I was wrong. On that.
No, you're right. There is only one manjet, but I think they're carriers.
So I
So
think
yeah,
good call though on this, because I think from a perspective of value, you are getting, especially Moyo, you are getting the value for it. Sorry, not in Moyo.
yeah,
Yeah, in Moyo, because you have the full cost.
yeah. And here's my other thing too: is that like you can. I like the fact that this can combo with other Leviathans. I think that's why I really like it, because this is something that incentivizes you to play a Lalo. Where like, yeah, I can play it for, any other thing, but if you have like a Lalo in your reserve and you're just like, I'm just gonna let this sit here for a second, and you play Sagitta on top of it, like, and you're out of options, that's not a bad play.
Nice. Yeah, no,
So
this is not bad at all. Especially if you also want to reserve a lot of cards in hand. You're paying 6, and you're getting fairly good value.
yeah. So yeah, love this card. This is very Wind Waker, and if for all my really super nerds out there, this is very Wind Waker on Dragon Reese Island. That's what this reminds, or not Dragon Reese Island. The Outlook. I don't remember. You guys know Big Bird. Big Bird. That's who it is. Anyway, I love this card. This is my favorite card. But this is not my favorite card. This is Sakuraburu's Fury. 5 from hand, 5 from reserve, spell maneuver. Fleeting, both in the common and in the rare. Target expedition moves backwards 1 region. And the rare is 8 from hand, 8 from reserve. Discard each character from target expedition, then that expedition moves backward 1 region. Horrifying. Mm-hmm. This is what we call board wipe. But unfortunately, it only hits 1 expedition. But still. The fact that you're essentially playing on 2 boards... technically you could hit your own. I don't know why you'd want to hit your own, but yeah, this card is wild.
Yeah, I don't know if you'd ever use the rare though. Honestly, it costs too much that you're not going to do as much damage, because you don't have much ramp in Yzmir. So you play this, and then they'll double advance, and therefore they're going to be 1 ahead. Now, where you can really use this, if it's a very
anchor
heavy deck, then you can get rid of everything that's on the board already. Okay,
yeah,
I see that. But you must be ramped enough that it makes sense. So the hero that I see this being played with mostly is Akesha, because she can after you. So you can have, if you've got a couple of 1 cost, then also. Then you after you, or double after you if you've got an Alice in reserve.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a benefit. I think the common is good enough to be able to be used for 5. You can actually make them go backwards 1, and what would have previously may have been a 1-for-1 win, now it's a 1-for-0.
Mm-hmm.
So there's the net impact, and that's all you're trying to do really in this game is, find the right opportunity when it's no longer going to be 1-for-1. Don't go for 2-0 every day. Very difficult to do.
Yeah. And I mean, and the other thing too that you have to remember is that technically speaking, like there's plenty of stuff in Yzmir that you can give sleep to, like on play from sleep. Mm-hmm. So you can sleep your entire board for 1 turn,
or anchor.
So spindle harvesters. So this is basically the Hail Mary. Depending on if you're using the common, it's a Hail Mary. If you're using the 8, this is a desperate tactical nuke.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. That is like, what, like, I'm out of options. So, I think it's funny. I just don't know if it's usable.
Yeah, it's a common though, I think will get some play.
Yeah.
All right.
So, moving on to Sea Nymph, one of your favorite cards.
Yeah, I did choose this 3/2 for 0/0/4. I think if you are able to play this on turn 1, on turn 2, when you and your opponent have moved only on one side, on either one have you moved there. If they're in water, you can sabotage, and there's no chance they'll beat you on water with 4 stats for 3. So I think it's very, very high. More than likely, that's where I see the value. And then from reserve, only paying 2 for 4 stats in water. But if you're not into any water, it is devastating because you get nothing. You get nothing.
No,
I
agree.
The arrow twice, I think, is very versatile on that mode. And you know what? If someone sabotages it, you're not too bad when it only costs 2. But
Yeah.
anyway, that's where I see it. I think, once again, that control Akesha, that control Moyo build would be pretty useful.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I love this card in Lyra. Don't know how I feel about it in Yzmir.
Okay.
So, but again, if you combo this with like Riptide, there's potential.
Riptide.
But I guess that's the point though, is that like the fact that it's on play from anywhere, that matters. So, because you only get to do it once in Lyra. So okay, okay, never mind. I'm picking up what you're putting down. So, okay, we've talked about Shiva before.
Mm-hmm.
Shiva in Lyra, right? Is that the Adefaction? Or is it in Bravos?
In Lyra.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it is Lyra. It makes
Yeah.
sense that it's Lyra.
Yeah. So, once again, though, funny. Because, again, they're kind of telling you, like, hey, you could build a permanent deck. Mm-hmm. Shiva is a 4 from hand, 2 from reserve character deity. 2 all in the stats in the common. On play from hand, you may discard target permanent. If you don't, I gain 2 boosts. In the rare, 3 from hand, 1 from reserve, 1/1/1 in the stats, and same on play from hand ability.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I want to hear what you think.
I would play the common.
I think either are really useful. I think the common is good enough when rare slots are hard to come by, even though the benefit of being able to play this on turn 1 could be very useful if you're playing someone that automatically puts things into...
Oh, wait a minute. This is
reserve.
target permanent. This doesn't have to be your permanent.
No, you can use any target permanent. So you can do it against your own, but I don't think you should ever do it against your own.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Unless you're playing an Aerolith deck and you want to resupply.
Yeah, but I'd rather 2 boost than a resupply 1. That's just me.
Well, again, if you're fishing, if you're desperate.
Yeah, potentially. But I think if you're playing, like, there's so many builds, like, there's a lot of hate towards permanents, and I think this is a great card to be able to play. You bring some stats on the board, and then you can get rid of something, like, any permanent. A 6-cost permanent for 4 costs, then you're putting two stats out there.
Yeah.
Not bad at all. I honestly feel that I actually prefer the common, purely because you're still putting 2 stats out there, so you can potentially beat something. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Yeah, no, I didn't. The discard target permanent just hit me. I'm like, dang, this is actually sick.
Yeah, it's common to discard. Normally, you're paying 4 resources just to discard, and here it's 4, and you're getting 2 stats.
Yeah. I like this a lot. Okay. Let's go onward to Studious Acolyte. Good for you, man. Good for you for moving your way up the ranks. Studious Acolyte, 2 from hand, 1 from reserve, mage character. 1 all in the stats. They're both the same in the common and the rare in terms of costs and stats. The difference is you may play spells for 1 less if their base cost is 4 or more. And this is where it gets funny. Studious Acolyte in the rare, you may play spells for 2 less if their base cost is 7 or more. So basically, you're paying 5 for stuff rather than 7, or you're paying 3 for stuff rather than 1. So, you need to be playing this in every deck. Every Yzmir deck needs to be playing this.
Just the common. I think the common is what most people do. I don't think the gain is strong enough to be able to play a 7-cost reduction. Now, if you merge this Studious Acolyte with the card that reduces the cost of all your the permanent that reduces the cost of your permanents that are 7 or more by 1, and you have 1 or 2 of those in play, and that's your style, then this will be really useful. You're only paying 3 for a 7 cost, and I've had that played against me, and I'm like, geez.
And it stacks?
Yeah, it does, because it reduces the cost of 1, then another one, and then another two.
Mhm.
But it's so circumstantial if that will actually come up. But in and of itself, it's fantastic opportunity to reduce your costs by playing it from hand, and this can happen both times. Like, it's not just played it from reserve; it's not a quick ability. It can be done anytime.
Yeah, it's base costs. Yeah. I see. This is where this could get really funny because then you blow people up with Sikarber's Fury for if you play 2 of these for 4.
Sure.
That'd be stupidly funny.
Yeah. So just think about it. This is basically your after you. You play Studious Acolyte, play it out, and then you can play your Sakurabaru's Fury, the 7-cost one, and it costs you the same as if you had played it on its own. That's your additional after you. So I would see that. That's a good way of thinking about it against if you're playing Akesha as well then.
Yeah. I think the more that I think about this, the more that I really like the idea of trying to recur stuff and trying to anchor stuff and sleep stuff with Studious Acolyte and maybe playing in like Studious Disciples to try and lower costs on stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm seeing the beginnings of the Moyo deck in my head being built, and it's not fun for anybody. It's not even fun for me. So, oh man. All right, that's going to be interesting. All right, moving right along to my girl, Suha. Oh, gosh, I love this card. So, Suha, Korgan Operative, 3 from hand, 1 from reserve. Bureaucrat Mage. So, fun there. Sneaking around in some Ortis library, some Ortis, Ortis office. 1/1/0 in the stats for the common. On play from hand, I gain a boost, then Sabotage, which is funny. And then in the rare, 1/0/0 in the stats. On play from hand, I gain 2 boosts, and when I go to the reserve from the expedition zone, I Sabotage. I'm going to be honest, I'm only going to play the common.
I think you... I play the rare. And the reason I play the rare is you could win a side when it's played, and then you Sabotage. Because you're playing through
That's
your
fair.
source, you're going to get 3/2/2, more than likely. This is a fantastic day 1 card.
Yeah.
Fantastic day 1 card. Of course, the common, if you don't have the space, that's great. But Sabotage after rest is so much better. Right? Especially when a trace meta, that you can get rid of a card without triggering traced. But, if you don't want to play at turn 1, then the common is a fantastic way to go, because you're still going to pay 3 to get 2/2/1, and you can get rid of a card in their reserve.
That's fair.
I just like being able to get rid of a card from their reserve after rest.
Okay, then.
And there's another thing that you can do with Suha that people are starting to do. They do it both here, and they do it in Bravos. When it's played from reserve, and you can make it lose fleeting, then you're only paying 1 cost to Sabotage after rest constantly. So they play Suha, then they play Suha, then they play Suha again, using Magical Training. I think it's Magical Training, right? The one that reduces...
Teamwork Training.
Sorry. No, Teamwork Training gives you the +3 boosts. So it's not Magical Training, which is the one...
Oh, physical? No.
It's the one that got banned for a little bit. I forgot that.
Helping Hand.
Helping Hand, thank you. You play Helping Hand on this.
Yeah.
To make it lose fleeting every time. And that's the benefit of...
If you're not playing it in Aphanis.
If you're not playing it in Aphanis, of course, yes.
Yeah, so we have to make that disclaimer.
But even if you played in Aphanis and you get the Helping Hand once, you're really stopping their engine. I think this is one of the best cards to have come out this set.
Yeah, I love Suha. I really, really like this card a lot. So, Suha and Yana, man, good job. Good for both of you. Just being real good cards. Okay, moving right along onto your other favorite card. We got the hair.
Yes, I do like the hair. This is I like this when you're playing as Lindaway. You become you get your Lindaway token at the beginning of the day. So when you play this card from hand, then halfway through a day they become first player. The next day you're first player again, and you don't have to pay the additional 1 resource when you're to become first player, to actually bring out more. On the other side, also for a Kesha, you always want to be first. So you become first, then you go first again, so you have that after you ability given to you many more times.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the benefit. And it's also, when played, it's a, you're getting the same value that your cost is. So there's no cost loss or stat loss from the cost of 3.
Yeah.
So that's why I like it. I think it has a lot of versatility in 2 heroes that are probably underrepresented.
Yeah. And then, so for everybody, because you have to remember, Chili forgets to do this all the time. The hare is a character animal, 3 from hand, 3 from reserve, 3 all in the stats, and on play from hand, if you are first player, target player becomes first player. So you're basically just being like, here, go, Merry Christmas. Because, see, this would be funny, because you play a Kesha, right? After you, they do their thing. You play the hare, you give it to them, you make them cry, you play something else, and then you become first player again.
Mm-hmm.
And then, maybe you have a chance to recur it with something. But you have sleight of hand in Yzmir. Because it's Lyra in Yzmir. So, technically, you could recur this all you want. But, it all depends. So, I really like, though, that they finally gave a little bit of the player interaction in an actual card that's not like a promo card. So, because you have like all the convention cards. So, I like this a lot. All right, moving on to the tortoise, which, I don't know. So. Let's see here. The tortoise is 2 from hand, 2 from reserve. Animal character, 0/0/3 in the stats, in the common, and you get a free ability to after you. The rare, same cost, same stats. On play from hand, if your opponent is the first player, you become the first player.
Yep. So this is actually, I'll use exactly the same rationale that I used before for both Lindaway and Okesha. You haven't used your ability yet. You play this, you become first player, you can use your ability for free.
Yep.
And I've not seen people actually do that yet by having the hare and the tortoise. And the other benefit it does for a Kesha is that it gives you the after you from reserve as well. So you have another card able to give you the after you, so you can see what other people are going to do before you play your hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the idea of comboing tortoise and hare together. So
or one after the other, then after the other, after the other. Yeah.
Right, yeah. So has potential, I think. Oh, okay. Love this card. If you are going to be playing Moyo, you have to have this card. Doesn't matter what version you play, you have to have the Well of Tears in your deck. I don't care who you are, that is my firm opinion. 2 from hand, 2 from reserve, landmark, the Well of Tears. In the common, when you play a spell with base cost 4 or more, you may give target character a boost. In the rare, same cost, but when you play a card with base cost 4 or more, you may give target character 1 boost. Now, granted, ideally, you are only going to be playing the common because you want your spells to usually be 4 or more, and you want all of your characters to be less because you're going to be creating characters with your mana moths. So I think you're going to be good there. I think that everybody should play this in Moyo. Okay, common in Moyo. Okay. You can play the rare in every other deck that you want. But I think specifically in Moyo, you're going to be one playing common.
Yeah, so this is a really good card to be able to bring out to get your basically your Moyo ability to give you 3/3/3. Pretty useful. I haven't seen it much, but I think it should see more play.
I think it really should.
Yeah. I don't think the rare is worth it though. Most people for a rare slot, I have not seen it done. I think the common though, as you said, is really cool.
Here's the thing:
is from a lore perspective, this is back in Asgartha.
Yes, this is where everybody gets their arcane focus.
Yeah, this is where Akesha fell into this area. Sorry, not Akesha. Akesha's sister.
Yep. And then this is where she got her.
She got sick.
No. What's that? Aether Shard.
From the but I thought
This is
I thought
this is
that
where
the
you get your
shard
shard.
fell into the water around the Well of Tears.
No, yes, you are correct.
Okay.
Yeah, that absolutely happened. What I was focusing on though was like Akesha got her arcane focus from her Aether Shard from the Well of Tears as well. That's where all the Yzmir disciples get all of their stuff from whenever they become an acolyte. So, which we might go back here and look at something because I'm very interesting now. Undine. So, I don't think we like this in Axiom, but in Yzmir, this is great. So, one from hand, one from reserve, 0/0/1 in the stats. And all it has is a free ability that says the next spell you play this turn loses fleeting.
Meh.
The rare, the only difference is that all the stats are equal. So it's 1 all in the stats rather than 0/0/1.
Yep.
This card is stupid, and I love it.
Oh, really?
Everybody's going to be playing this.
Okay.
Everybody needs to be
rare or
playing
the
this.
Common?
Oh, common. Why would you ever play the rare?
Yeah, but it's
There's no point.
It's an after you. I guess that's the benefit of it, but I don't think it gives you much value outside of that.
Oh, dude, I'm playing this all the time. You kidding me?
Okay, sorry,
Any
from
fleeting spell?
reserve is good. From reserve.
Yeah. Yeah, you kidding me? Because here's the fun part, right? Is that you put you play something that's like, okay, put target card in from your hand into reserve, right? And then you blast this with like any spell that has fleeting on it that you really want to recycle. Are you kidding me? That's really funny. I love this. I love the idea of this. Everybody, here's the fun part. Alphanis 1,000,000% wants to be playing this. You play this one turn, and then you sack it to give any one of the spells that you want to keep. Like, why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
I love this card. Like, the more I think about it, I should have picked this card. This is a great card.
I think the benefit from being played from reserve, from just this quick ability is so strong.
Yeah. This is nuts. Yeah. I love this card. This is an amazing card.
It's a one cost. People are going to play it.
Yeah. Are you kidding me? Okay. I think this is the last card. Because...
We got a few more.
Oh, dang. Yeah. Holy crap. All right. We're going to go... All right. Winged Monkey, which we've got Dorothy and the Yellow Brick Road. 3 from hand, 1 from reserve in the common. Animal character, 0/2/0 in the stats. On play from hand, I gain 2 boosts. The rare is the exact same. The only difference is that on play from hand, I gain 2 boosts and then create an aerolith in target player's landmarks. Mm-hmm. We get it. We get it, game designers. You want us to play the aeroliths in Yzmir. We get it. How do you feel?
No. I can't look. Let's say Winged Monkey is actually not bad for a cost. Like you're gonna get 2/4/2, which is actually fantastic. You know you'll win that side, one side. You'll at least progress. I just compare that with the benefit that you get from Suha, and I prefer Suha. But on the other side, is it's still pretty strong for one. You're paying 1 resource to get 2 stats in a region as an after you isn't bad at all. If you are going the landmark mode, great, but would you use a rare slot? Probably not. But the common is actually very useful.
I would agree with that. I like the idea of man. Again, I like thinking in terms of theme decks. And I like the idea of playing like Baba's Isba, Winged Monkey, Alice. I don't know if in the next set, in set 5, if they're going to give us like Tin Man, the Lion, the Straw Man, or Scarecrow. But I like the idea of like possibly playing like an Alice in Wonderland, Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
Dorothy.
They do have Wizard of Oz.
Dorothy Gale.
Ozma.
Well, I know, but like, you know what I mean.
Yeah. No, I get it.
So
play out the whole story, right?
Yeah. Maybe even getting like a landmark that's like the Yellow Brick Road. So that'd be interesting.
That actually would be. That sounds really good, actually. Not a
Yeah.
red landmark. I
So
like it.
there's the potential for it. So, but yeah, I like this because 2/4/2 for 3, not bad. But I don't think anybody's going to play it.
Yeah, I don't
Maybe.
know if they will.
I don't know.
But,
It's just like the one cost though is just not good for 0/2/0.
yeah, it's a little bit hard. But
Yeah. Anyway, we're just gonna move on. I give up.
yeah,
Winged
but what?
monkey.
No, but one cost for 0/2/0 may be okay. Like
That's true,
you're getting 2 stats in a region for 1.
and it's good after you, I guess. So
Second last
going
card.
from winged monkey to wyvern.
I love
That's
the
wild.
Wyvern.
Yeah. I'll let you take this one for your dragon.
It's a character dragon, 4/3 for 3/3/4. So it's slightly understated, but when played from hand, you may send to reserve up to 2 target characters with hand cost 1 or less. This is great in a Sigismar meta. It is great in Kojo, where Kojo is constantly present. I'm talking about the 2 main ones that use this. It's also really good if any of the robot builds come up with Sierra and Traced. So I guess I would mention the other 2, but those are the 2 stronger of the 2 heroes in Axiom.
Yeah, I agree. I really like this card.
No,
What were you going to say, though?
I was going to say, if you're playing against someone that doesn't play anything that's 2 or less, it's kind of a bummer. But it is really good against Trace, though. Like, most of their cards are 1 or less. They pay so much that's 1. The thing to be mindful of Traced, if you're playing this against Traced, is try not to put a card that they played from hand into their reserve, because then you're going to be able to get them to trigger their Traced ability much quicker. Because once he goes in reserve, it doesn't actually give you any additional benefit. They can then trigger their Traced ability when they play it out again. So that's always one thing to be mindful against Traced, or putting anything into reserve.
Let me put it this way for you real quick. I really like this card. I hate the implications of what this card says. So, first off, mechanics and play-wise, I think this is a really fun card. I think it's a very good card. And kind of what you're saying, comboing against anything that plays tokens. And, again, a lot of token hate in Yzmir. I hate the fact that we have in canon that says woolly-backs taste like cotton candy. I don't know that I like that.
That's all right. Sorry.
So, because here's the question: is it the wool or is it the meat?
The meat.
I don't know that I want my lamb chops tasting like cotton candy.
Yeah, I don't think I do either. I think that's hilarious.
Whoever came up with this needs to be put in jail. They need to go to jail, straight to jail.
That's
so
funny.
All right, last card.
Yes.
Freak, man, I love this card. Okay, now, I need to be clear. I picked the rare, but I think that for Moyo, you want to be playing the common. So, Yzmir Signet, 2 hand, 4 from reserve, Conjuration spell. In the common, choose 1, send to reserve, target character costs 2 or less, sabotage, or draw a card. In Yzmir Signet, in the rare, 3 from hand, 3 from reserve, choose 2. Send to reserve target character, hand cost 2 or less, sabotage, draw a card. Now, the reason why I say you want to be using this in common for Moyo is because the first time you're getting, whatever ability you want. The second time, you're technically still getting good value for playing it in the rare. Exactly. So, I don't think you should be rare. Don't get me wrong. In terms of cost efficiency, the rare is better, right? The thing is, though, is that in the common, you're still getting what you need out of it if you're playing it in Moyo specifically. So, but that's why I picked the rare, is because in terms of all around, Yzmir Signet is better in the rare in terms of all of the heroes.
No, I get it as well, but I think that the common also has additional synergies with some of the other cards that have been shown, that if you have a card in reserve that's 4, then you get better benefits from it. You can reduce anything that's 4 or more. I think I've seen people just play the common, and what they do is they recur this back into hand, and then play it again for 2, and continually play it out for 2. So I've seen it used. It is getting play.
Yeah.
more so than the rare, as far as I
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. So,
That takes
but
us
I
to the
think
end,
both
Nick.
are good. Yeah, I think both are good. Yay! We did it, Chili!
Now,
Woo!
one thing we didn't do with the others, but I want to ask you this as we close up. Of all the cards in Izmir, what is your favorite? What do you think?
Sagitta.
Sagitta. Okay. For me,
Sagitta.
Suha Korgan Operative at the rare, I think, is probably the most competitive card to come out for this set, for this
Yeah.
action.
Yeah. It's really interesting because I think if you play it and you combo things, here's the problem, right? Is that most people like car or decks like they like Trace, they like Kojo because the combos are easy and they're easier to get consistently, right? I think you can do it just right, where if you're playing smart, and that's the problem, Izmir is all about playing smart.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, like it's all about strategizing way in advance about like, okay, I need to get this, and I need to get this, and I need to get this. The problem is that like any snag in that, and your deck immediately falls apart. Not necessarily like totally, but a large part of what you want to do with it falls apart, right? So I think it's possible to build a really funny big spell, big creature Moyo deck. The problem is that like you have to build it very, very specifically with like a lot of cost reduction, a lot of like maybe free abilities that reduce cost, a lot of disciples and acolytes.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. I kind of want to try it out to see what happens, but I think it has the potential to be really stupid, especially if you're playing like with Scholar's Vault and Well of Tears.
Yeah. I think there's lots of options, lots of ways to build, and there's someone's always going to come up with a really cool design that others will end up copying. But we're now starting to see with the fourth set in play choices in terms of your deck building that is much more free, allowing your free style to come out. So there you go.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure. We finally got through them all. We've been trying to do one a week. Thankfully, we didn't. There's no tumult this season, but we got it out before the mid-season patch. That's a win.
Yeah, that's the first time we've done that. So good for us. High five.
I know.
Yeah, good job. Sell 5.
There you go.
All right. All right. Anybody. Anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for listening. We will be doing this for set 5. Set 5 is coming out. So once again, as soon as we have all the cards available, we will be doing this for set 5. You can look out for that. But before the mid-season patch, we hope that everybody at least maybe got some ideas for how you can build, certain things in Yzmir. Maybe a couple Lindaway ideas, maybe a couple Moyo ideas. Because, again, we want to see diversity in the meta. So please, build those decks. We're here as a soundboard. If you want to come to me or Chili with ideas, we will absolutely help you work through them. So, yeah. Just remember that this community is fun and ask questions. Always ask questions. There's no such thing as a dumb question technically. So ask your questions because people may look at you funny for asking the question, but go ahead and ask the question. That's fine. Ask the question. There's no harm in that. So, but with that being said, we'll absolutely see you on the next one.
Hasta luego.
Ciao.